Good morning, everyone. I am Tamal Sarkar and I am currently pursuing my M.Ed from ICFA University, Tripura. Today, I am presenting on the topic Carl Jung's theory of personality. In 1921, Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung published his book Psychological Types. In this book, Jung, based on the evidence of his years of working closely with hundreds of psychiatric patients, proposed that people come in 8 different psychological flavors, depending on which of 4 mental functions they preferred using the most and on whether they were introverted, preferring the inner subjective world of thoughts, ideas, and emotions, or extroverted, preferring the outer objective world of things, people, and actions. Jung's 4 functions include 2 perceptive type functions and 2 judgmental functions. The perceptive functions were ways of perceiving or taking in information. The 2 ways people do this is called sensing and intuition. Sensing means using information either real time or remembered, and the 5 senses as the main source of information. Intuition means paying more attention to the inner voice and its ability to recognize patterns than to the sensory impressions. The judgmental functions are ways of judging or making decisions based on data taken into the conscious minds from the perceptive functions. Jung called the 2 ways of judging thinking and feeling. By thinking, Jung meant making decisions based on deductive logic. By feeling, he meant making decisions based on emotions. Of course, it is also common to make decisions based on things other than thinking or feeling. A person may eat ice cream because it tastes good, a sensing decision, or he may add a second wing to a house because it completes the pattern, an intuitive decision. Jung called these non judgmental decisions making techniques irrational. By irrational, Jung meant only perceptive as opposed to judgmental. The word should not be construed as illogical or inferior. Jung proposed that people choose one of these 4 functions as their primary function and use that function either introvertedly or extrovertedly. Hence, in Jung's system, there are 8 basic personality types. They are introverted thinker, introverted feeler, introverted sensor, introverted intuitor, extroverted thinker, extroverted feeler, extroverted sensor, and extroverted intuitor. Carl Jung and the Myers Briggs. Carl Jung, a colleague of Sigmund Freud, introduced one of the earliest trait theories. Jung was never completely sold on Freud's ideas and soon left his circle to develop his own rich theory. Jung felt that traits were inborn. These inborn genetically determined traits are usually called temperaments. Later, 2 students of Jung's theory, named Myers and Briggs, they are mother and daughter, developed a personality test based on Jung's temperaments called the Myers-Briggs Type Inventory, or MBTI. It has become the most famous personality test of all time. The traits are seen as opposites, and the first set is introversion and extroversion. Introversion refers to a tendency to prefer the world inside oneself. The more obvious aspects of introversion are shyness, distaste for social functions, and a love of privacy. Extroversion is the tendency to look to the outside world, especially people, for one's pleasures. Extroverts are usually outgoing and enjoy social activities, but feel uncomfortable when alone. The majority of people in the world are extroverts, so introverts often feel a bit let down. Next up, we have contrast between sensing people and intuiting people. Sensing types, as the name implies, get all the information about life from their senses. They tend to be realistic, down to earth people, but often tend to see everything in overly simplistic, concrete, black or white terms. Intuiting people tend to get their information from intuition. This means that they tend to be little out of touch with the more solid aspects of reality, but may see the big picture behind the details better. Intuiting people are often artistic and can be rather philosophical. Again, the majority of people are sensing, and that can make intuitors feel rather lonely and unappreciated. Next up, we have thinkers and feelers. Thinking people make their decision on the basis of reasoning, logic, step by step problem solving. This works very well for physical problems, but can leave something to be desired when dealing with something as complex as people. On the other hand, feeling people make their decisions based on their feelings. Feeling is a kind of intuition that works very well when dealing with people. Half of all people are thinkers and half are feeling, but the proportions differ uh, in case of gender. The majority of men are thinking and the majority of women are feelers. Last but not the least, there is contrast in judging versus perceiving. Judging people tend to be neat, orderly, hardworking, always on time, scheduling things very carefully. College professors tend to be judging. Perceiving people are more spontaneous. They prefer to do things as their spirit moves them. They are probably more fun than the judging types, but they tend not to get things done. It often seems to the professors that college students are all perceiving. The distribution of judging and perceiving people is pretty even, that is 50-50. Here, I would like to conclude my presentation. Thank you.